So earlier today we had the not Warhammer 40,000 preview, and of course we had our one new model for Warhammer The Old World, and I have to say I actually really like the model that we was shown. The only downside to me, and I guess maybe to you guys as well, is the fact that it is going to be in resin. However, I don't know if that's a huge problem. Let's talk about it, let's see what your thoughts are as well. So what we got today was a battle standard bearer, and I have to say it looks incredible. It is yet again painted in the colours and the heraldry of the Duke of Castile, who is the Red Hand of Bretonnian. And it's basically red and black, and I have to say I actually really like this colour scheme. Red and black sort of reminds me of the Vampire Counts and the Blood Knights, and I really like those. And this sort of just gives me a little bit of that vibe. It's beautiful, basically. They do talk very briefly about the rules. They say that the battle standard bearer used to be important, and it's going to be important in the old world as well, and it's very common for Bretonnians to have one. Makes sense. I think we sort of expected that. It's the old world rules, it's the old fancy rules, everything makes sense. But yeah, truly, I think that model is very pretty. It's Games Workshop doing old world stuff in like modern capabilities. It's fantastic. As I said, the main problem is that it's resin. But before we talk about it being resin, let's look at this key line from the webpage. And the line is this: "We'll have more to show you from the square-based realm of Warhammer The Old World later in the year. Head over to our hub page to see the rest of today's reveals." Now this later in the year, now maybe I'm clinging to straws here because quite simply they would say we would be getting more information later this year no matter what. However, it is sort of building to a crescendo to think that maybe Warhammer The Old World is coming out at the end of this year. And maybe this is the tease, maybe it's not, maybe it is, who knows, we'll find out. Now the next question there is resin a problem? Well, they do say that whilst this is going to be in resin, there are going to actually be some plastic Bretonnians on the way. Now, really the question here is, how good is this resin in this day and age? Personally, my experience with Finecast was like meh, it wasn't that good. The kids these days would probably say it was definitely mid. To be fair, mid might be over-egging it might not have been that good. However, I'm led to believe, now maybe you guys can correct me, that modern day GW's resin is a lot better. A lot of time has moved on. I'm guessing they're quite competent at it now. I don't actually know though, I don't actually have any experience with it. It's interesting that we are getting resin, plastics, and they actually said some metal is coming back. That's really fascinating to me. Personally, I like to work with the hard plastic. I just think the detail on it is quite good. It's actually quite easy to work with plastic glue because it doesn't stick to your fingers quite as easily, although I do actually have to worry about putting like thumbprints in it or whatever, but that's just because I'm a hobby incompetent. But I don't mind resin, it's not like the end of the world, as long as the detail is fine, which I'm guessing it will be. Now there were some other reveals, not all of which relevant to Warhammer The Old World, but we'll have a quick look at them anyway. There was basically a new Orc warband for Warcry, which I have to say the models look pretty damn nice. No qualms with this at all. Everything there looks pretty nice. Why I'm actually bringing any kind of attention to this is simply because this is the kind of stuff maybe we can expect with Warhammer The Old World if they actually become semi-popular and they really do like cool new plastics. Like maybe, obviously it won't be this necessarily aesthetic, but this kind of quality, yeah, that'd be really interesting. And it's sort of the same for these Skaven models from whatever the game is, Underworlds. I'm sort of thinking you might actually just be able to buy these and use them for Warhammer The Old World anyway without much conversion, right? I don't actually play Skaven, so I don't really know, but you know, some of these models, I have to say they look pretty damn nice. They are effectively old world models updated, just not in any kind of cohesive unit, basically. But I guess you could use these for conversions, and I think they would really help an army like really stand out. I don't think the Cities of Sigmar are really indicative of the new Empire all that much these days. I did originally, but now I think there's just too much iconography all relating to like the Sigmar element of it, and I don't think we'll be getting like these models dual purpose or anything like that. But I do really like the models with some of these before, and I do actually really truly like them. Weirdly, seeing stuff like this makes me happy and a little bit sad. I really want the old world to do well, so this could be like an old world model. These kind of like cool, I can imagine this guy being sort of similar to a Flagellant, like an updated version of it or whatever. Like it'd be really cool. Yeah, I truly am just like a huge fan of the sculpts of these. Not necessarily all the detail or whatever, but just like the overall vibe and aesthetic, I actually quite like. I'd prefer more traditional Empire personally, but you know what I mean? They just give me hints and I'm like, I like those hints. There was probably other things shown off and other things said. I tried to quickly watch this back, like the actual live stream. I was out all day at a family thing. I actually tried to record a video in my car, but I could not get it edited in time because the software that I had was terrible. So I had to wait till I come home. So I'm sorry about that. Generally, I will do a live stream, then I will do a video, and I'll be as quick as I can. But today, I actually had prior commitments. Like, I hate having some kind of semblance of a minor life. Like, could I not just become a proper basement dweller? Absolutely outrageous. Just have to divorce the wife, maybe. I'm joking. Just in case my wife ever watches this. I'm joking. I love you. And I love all of you. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to support me, you can become a Patreon. And have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.